Well, hello, friends, and welcome in. My name is Sarah, and this is Cage and Lantern, where I channel messages from Spirit. And I just got through laying down some cards and having a connection with someone from the ancestral realm. And the connection that I am picking up on was very emotional for me. I'm connecting with a grandfather, gentlemanly kind of energy, grandfatherly, an older gentleman, an older personality. The person that I connected with immediately let me know that when they were with us, they enjoyed certain things in their life. They had grooming habits that might have been a part of their existence. Like maybe they always had to have their hair cut a certain way, or maybe they colored it a certain color. Maybe very dapper and wore a bow tie kind of thing. The card that came through was vanity. And the deck that I used to connect was the Beloved Dead Oracle deck. And I have just such a connection with this deck. As soon as I laid the card down, I thought of, maybe a grandfather figure that always wore a particular cologne. I think of my own grandfather. His name is George, was George, and he always wore Old Spice cologne. And I got really emotional because I felt him in this reading very deeply. And so I wanted to share this reading with you all. I'll share some other insights that came through, but maybe some of you clicked on this video hoping to hear a message from your own grandfather that you miss very dearly. And just know the messages that came through are so positive. The grandfatherly spirit that I was in connection with let me know how proud they are of me, and they want me to let myself just be in the here and now. And so again, we mirror one another. So the message coming through from the ancestral realm to you, dear viewer, is to be in the here and the now, and just really disconnect from all of the outside noise, all of the outside distractions that are keeping you from really being able to just sit and process whatever it is that you're going through right now at this time. I did get the visitation card, and along with the here and now card, an act of love. That's the message, is that they really want us to just reconnect, not only with them, but with ourselves. With the visitation card, I asked the question, is anyone here with me now? And that was the card that came out of the deck. And in the guidebook, it talks about visitation. Let me just read you real quickly. It's talking about, like, when you get a visitation, the communication can happen in many ways. Like, I don't necessarily see anyone, but I sense them. Like, all the hair stands on end and the hairs on the back of my neck. I will feel like a breeze go past my like ankles, just a feeling like I'm not by myself, but not in a threatening way. And so, when we experience someone that we cared about, and we're making that connection with them, and we have said a prayer of protection, and you can look for one of those online if you'd like, just to protect yourself. And Just as long as I've said this in my videos before, as long as you're coming from a place of deep desire to connect with a loved one, and you ask for that loved one to come before you and leave you any messages, and then you just sit and you take that in, you will be safe. And then you ask for your personal energy back, and you thank whoever came forward for coming forward, and then you release them. And you ask for your personal energy back, and then you express gratitude for that connection, and then you ask for the sacred space to be clear. And then you think again, and you can, light some sage or some other kind of incense that might clear the space. Okay? So, not everything has to be scary and Hollywood, frightening. It's very subtle. It's very loving. It can be. And the message also came out that they're very proud of you. They say that you shine, you are bright. And, with that visitation card that came out, it indicates that there is a loved one around you that's providing guidance for you, that is giving you strength and protection at this time. I thought it's interesting that this guidebook brought out, it could even be a pet. Maybe we had a pet that was around for a really long time. And it was maybe our first child, right? Maybe it was our first pet that we got when we became an adult, and we had it for a long time and it passed away. A pet passing away is really hard to get through, isn't it? And so it could even be a beloved pet maybe you've lost recently. But again, there's just that whole positive healing potential when you get a visitation like this, especially if maybe there was things that you wanted to say that you weren't able to. Just know that just sitting there and talking can make not only you feel some closure, but it might also help you just to process that grief. And just, you must know that you are trying to connect and you're laying your heart bare. You have to know that they're hearing you, and that whatever connection you're trying to make has been made. Okay? It doesn't need to be difficult for us to process our emotions. And if you're having trouble forgiving a dead loved one, realize that forgiveness is really for you. You don't have to, make a big deal out of it. But if you are having trouble forgiving someone who passed away, recognize that who they are now is not who they were when they were here. And the things that they did, no matter how terrible, they did as a human, but how they are now is not the same, right? And so maybe that can help with forgiveness and letting something go that you might be holding, that's preventing your own growth. So that was a message that came through. And then I pulled some tarot because I wanted some clarification, like on the vanity. And when I do these readings, I also feel like, what is the message saying to me? Not only is it maybe reflecting a dead loved one, but also the vanity perhaps that we might hold. And so personally, I have been trying to pull back with my need for perfectionism. And for instance, being on YouTube it can be very daunting. You come on and you bare your soul and you do these readings for whoever they come to, and you recognize that you want to put your best face forward, but that can paralyze you. And so I have personally been trying to just put my videos out without a lot of pomp and circumstance, without a lot of preparation, to just sort of just jump right in and kind of learn and claw my way. And I think I've learned a lot of lessons by doing this. I think I have almost 60 videos out, and I really struggled initially making sure everything was edited years ago when I started my channel. And now I'm recognizing that the more real I am, the better off, because then I can, if needed, I can come on and video myself and put it out there. And I'm recognizing, that people will hopefully learn who I am as a human and get to know me and, vibe with my energy. And then that's why they'll come back. And it won't be because I looked a certain way or wore certain clothes. It'll be because I showed up authentically and I, shared parts of myself with you. And so I'm really sensing that with that vanity card, my grandfatherly connection that I was having there was saying to me, we recognize that you're trying to make changes, that you are moving through this difficult time where you are trying to amp up your visibility. And we recognize that, you have put that to the side and it's going to help you grow. And so that's just like a personal message that I received through that vanity card. But I also remember about my grandfather, George. Not only did he wear the Old Spice, but he always was very dapper with a flannel shirt tucked in with a belt, and he wore stiff denim jeans with work boots, steel-toed work boots, because he worked at a factory building cars. He worked for General Motors. And it was really great just connecting with him. But as I was speaking with him, I recognized that, perhaps you yourself have a grandfatherly figure or a father figure that, is an older gentleman and maybe like to look good. My grandfather always drove really nice trucks, smaller trucks. He was a smaller statured man, maybe 5'4". And I always towered over him a bit. And he had silver hair, young, just like me. And his eyes were light blue, and he was very pale. And I don't know if this was true, but my grandfather, George, was quite a ladies' man. He had many girlfriends. And of course, he was sort of he was a player, I'm just going to say. And for a while, he actually was a roadie for Willie Nelson. And I want to say like in the 80s, late 80s. And he lived in Texas for a while, in San Antonio. And then he moved back to where we are now, and he passed away. And his ashes were spread, from what I understand, underneath an apple tree in his yard, which I think is pretty sweet. I did not get to say goodbye to my grandfather because of family dynamics with my family shuns me because I don't believe the same religious beliefs that they do. And so I wasn't really told about my grandfather in his last moments, and they wanted it that way because they didn't want to have to deal with the awkwardness of being in the same room with me. And so I wasn't able to say goodbye to him. But here today, I was able to tell him how much I care about him. And so it was a really powerful reading, and I hope it made you connect with somebody that you've been really missing too. And I knew it was my grandfather because some different things came through the cards as I was looking at them, and I could almost just hear the way he spoke. He was quite, he had quite a big ego for such a small man. And I hope he wouldn't mind me saying he reminded me of a bantam rooster. You know, he always kind of acted like he was much bigger and tougher than he actually was. And frankly, he was just a peaceful man. He was not a saint, that is for sure. He definitely did some things in his life that were not good. But I think that is the scope of humanity, is that we are not 100% good or 100% bad. We are a mixed bag of all kinds of things, and that's what makes the human experience worth living. Yeah, there's just a couple of final notes here that whoever you are thinking of during this reading, they want you to know that you are a kindred spirit of theirs, and that you are on your path for your life purpose. If that's something that you've been really trying to understand about yourself, they're asking you to pray to them and ask for protection, ask for direction, and ask for signs. Maybe something that you and they had in common. You can ask to see something. My grandfather always carried a Swiss Army knife with him. And I remember him as a little girl. When I was a little girl, I remember him, taking out his pocket knife, wiping it on his jeans, and then he would cut like fruit for himself or a piece of cheese. And now looking back, I think, okay, gross, right? But that is a memory I have of my grandfather. And so he's been passed away for probably 8 years now. It's been a while. And so I asked if he could send me a sign of maybe a pocket knife. Maybe I'll just see one, because it's been a long time since I've seen a pocket knife. And I remember exactly what it looked like too, with the white ivory handle. I have some knives that I bought a few years back. They reminded me of that pocket knife. So hopefully I'll see that sign, and hopefully you liked this message. Again, one of my favorite things to do is connect with the ancestral realm, because I just think that they have so much wisdom that we can tap into, and recognize that, my goodness, most of us have it so much better than those who came before us. And so by bringing forth these kind of messages, we're honoring them, and they're there to protect us. They want the best for us. They're in us. They live in our blood, in our DNA, in our bones. And so when we heal ourselves, we're healing parts of them. We're healing that family line. And if we have children, we are healing their futures so that they can be brought up in a family that has a healed generational line. And how wonderful that would be. So thank you so much for joining in today, and I'm going to connect with you guys again at another time. Give it a like, subscribe, and give it a comment if you'd like to share who you are connecting with at this time. I'll talk to you guys later.